There's always that one person. You know, the one who can't say no. The person who's constantly running around, managing everyone else's drama, needs and moods, and somehow ends up feeling like a walking, talking stress ball. Sound familiar? It's like they're in a constant battle, juggling the emotions of every person around them, smiling when they don't want to, saying yes when they'd rather say no, bending over backward to keep the peace. But let's be honest, trying to make everyone happy is exhausting. It's like trying to plug holes in a sinking ship with band-aids. You patch things up for a minute, but the water's still rising, and no matter how hard you work, it never feels like enough. You end up frustrated, drained, and still something's missing. It's not uncommon to get caught in this cycle. In fact, it's pretty easy to get lost in the idea that everyone else's happiness is your responsibility. After all, we've been conditioned to believe that being selfless means being good, and that taking care of others will somehow make us feel better about ourselves. But it doesn't. It never does. Because in the end, you're the one left feeling empty, lost, and like you're running on fumes. And here's the thing you need to understand. You don't have to be the one carrying everyone's load. You are not here to be a people pleaser. And more importantly, you are not weed. Now hear me out. I know it might sound odd at first, but there's a point to it. You're not here to be someone's quick fix, their temporary escape, or their source of momentary relief. You are not here to be everyone's weed, a tool they use to feel better when they're down, or to distract themselves from their problems. Just like weed isn't a permanent solution to everything, you aren't a permanent fix for other people's problems. So, if you're out there, constantly trying to be the one who fixes things, makes people happy, and pleases everyone, remember, it's okay to take a step back. It's okay to say no. It's okay to focus on yourself. You don't have to be that person anymore. There's more to life than being a temporary high for others. If we take a step back and look at Rastafarianism, a key lesson is clear. Trying to please everyone is not just a waste of time. It's a disservice to your own spirit. Rastafarians live by principles of self-respect, authenticity, and divine connection, all of which come from living for yourself, not for others. The truth is, when you're constantly trying to make people happy, you're not making yourself happy. You're stretching yourself thin, and there's nothing spiritually fulfilling about that. In Rastafarian culture, there's a deep understanding of the importance of being true to oneself. The world outside, often referred to as Babylon, is full of distractions and pressures to conform. Babylon tries to push people into molds, telling them what to wear, how to act, and who to be. But Rastafarians know better. They know that true peace, true happiness, and true connection come from rejecting the pressure to fit in, and instead embracing your individuality and your inner peace. Think about it for a second. When you're living authentically, you're not looking for validation from the outside world. You're not chasing after approval from others, trying to be the person they want you to be. Instead, you're living in your own truth, aligning yourself with your purpose and walking the path that feels right for you. That's what true peace is all about. Jah created each of us with a unique purpose, and when you're constantly trying to be what other people want you to be, you're not walking in that divine purpose. Instead, you're walking in the shadow of someone else's expectations. You're living in their version of reality, not your own. And that's a life destined for frustration and discontent. The truth is, you are a creation of Jah. You are unique. You are not meant to fit into someone else's mold. And that's why trying to please everyone is a road to nowhere. You need to stop seeking approval from the outside and start seeking alignment with your higher self. When you do that, you'll find that happiness and peace naturally follow. In Rastafarian culture, the herb, ganja, is more than just something to smoke. It's a sacred sacrament, a tool for spiritual elevation, and a symbol of the deeper connection between the physical and spiritual realms. But here's where it connects to the idea of trying to please others. Just like ganja, your energy should never be something that you force onto others. It's not meant to be something that people take from you because they're seeking temporary relief. Cannabis, for Rastafarians, is about connection and elevation. It's not just about getting high for the sake of feeling good. It's about raising consciousness, opening the mind to spiritual truths, and finding inner peace. The Rastafarian way is to offer the herb with respect, knowing that it can help others connect to their higher selves, but never forcing it on anyone. Just like your energy, your time, and your spirit shouldn't be forced onto others. When you give yourself away to everyone, trying to make them happy or be their solution to everything, you're giving away pieces of yourself without any respect for what you need. You're not elevating anyone, you're just draining yourself. But when you focus on elevating yourself, living authentically, connecting with your true self, you can offer your energy freely and without depleting yourself. Think about it like this. When you light up, you're not doing it to force someone else to feel good. You're doing it to elevate your own spirit. Similarly, when you start living for yourself and focusing on your own growth, you stop being everyone else's fix and start becoming your own source of peace, happiness, and strength. The importance of boundaries. Protect your energy. If you want to live a life of peace, you need to learn how to protect your energy. Boundaries are not just a luxury, they're a necessity. In Rastafarianism, there's a deep understanding that protecting your peace is essential to maintaining your spiritual health. If you're constantly giving away your time, energy, and resources without any regard for your own well-being, you'll burn out. You'll become a shell of yourself. And that's not what life is about. Boundaries are a form of self-love. They're not selfish, they're necessary. When you set boundaries, you're saying, I value myself enough to protect my peace and my energy. And that's something Rastafarians understand deeply. They don't allow the oppressive systems of Babylon to drain them. They protect their energy, their spirit, and their peace, because they know that those things are sacred. It's okay to say no. It's okay to step away from situations and people that drain you. It's okay to protect your inner peace. And once you start setting boundaries, you'll find that your life becomes more balanced. You won't feel so stretched thin. You'll have the space to connect with your higher self, focus on your spiritual journey, and offer your energy to those who truly value it. When you set boundaries, you're honoring your own worth and your own journey. You're saying, I am important, and I won't sacrifice my well-being for the sake of pleasing others. And that's a powerful message. At the core of Rastafarianism lies the deeply held belief in living authentically, unburdened by the pressures of Babylon, the system that seeks to control, manipulate, and define people's worth based on their conformity. In Rastafarian culture, there's a mantra that guides the path towards spiritual freedom and inner peace. Live true to yourself, no matter what the outside world says. It's this principle that connects directly to the idea of stopping the pursuit of other people's approval and living unapologetically as your true self. For far too many people, the pursuit of validation from others is an unending cycle. We chase after external applause, constantly looking for that pat on the back, that good job, or that acknowledgement that we're doing it right. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Seeking validation from others is a losing game. No matter how much praise you get, or how many compliments you receive, it will never be enough. The approval of others is fleeting. It's like chasing shadows. You'll never catch them, and you'll always be left yearning for more. Rastafarians know this all too well. In a world that thrives on judgment, comparison, and control, they stand strong in their commitment to self-expression. They embrace who they are without concern for how they are perceived by the masses. Authenticity is their power. When you live authentically, you stop looking to others to define your worth. You recognize that your worth isn't based on how many likes you get, how many followers you have, or whether you meet society's standards of success. Your worth is inherent, intrinsic, and tied directly to your existence and your connection to Jah, God. Rastafarianism teaches that each person has a divine purpose, a unique path to follow, and the strength to walk it without needing permission or validation from anyone else. This is a radical shift in mindset. It's about rejecting the societal norms that tell us to conform, to look, act, or be a certain way in order to be considered worthy or successful. Rastafarians reject Babylon's ideals of materialism and superficiality, and instead they focus on living according to their own principles. The journey towards self-awareness and self-expression doesn't require outside approval. It requires an internal commitment to your truth. It requires you to trust yourself. Now let's be clear. Living authentically doesn't mean disregarding others or acting selfishly. It doesn't mean that you should treat people poorly or ignore their needs. What it means is that you no longer let the opinions of others dictate how you live. You make decisions based on what feels right to you, what aligns with your values, and what serves your soul's growth. In essence, living authentically is about alignment, aligning with your true self, your beliefs, and your calling, without bending or compromising to meet others' expectations. Think about the Rastafarians and their unwavering commitment to their lifestyle. They could easily conform to society's expectations, abandon their beliefs, and blend into the mainstream. But they don't. They proudly wear their dreadlocks, speak their truth, and honor their connection to Jah, despite the ridicule or judgment they may face. This is the epitome of living authentically. They are not afraid to stand out. In fact, they embrace it. They've recognized that standing out is where the power lies. When you begin to live authentically, it's like shedding a layer of stress and burden that you didn't even know you were carrying. The weight of trying to meet other people's standards and expectations falls away. Instead, you experience a freedom that's hard to describe until you feel it. This freedom doesn't just come from being yourself. It comes from knowing that you're living for you, not anyone else. Living authentically also means being comfortable with imperfection. So many people are caught up in trying to create the perfect image for others to see. Social media, with its filters and curated lives, can create an illusion of perfection that many people feel pressured to live up to. But authenticity isn't about perfection. It's about being real. It's about showing up as your full, unfiltered self, even if that means having bad days, making mistakes, or showing vulnerability. That's part of being human. And when you accept that, you stop seeking approval from others to validate your imperfections. This is exactly what Rastafarians understand when they embrace their natural selves. Dreadlocks, a symbol of their spiritual commitment, are an act of defiance against the societal norms that promote conformity. The dreadlocks aren't just a hairstyle. They represent a refusal to conform to society's standards and a commitment to living in harmony with their spiritual truths. It's a visible sign of authenticity. It says, "This is me, and I don't need to change for you." It's a reminder that the most authentic life you can live is the one where you choose your path, your style, and your identity without fear of rejection or judgment. Moreover, living authentically also requires letting go of the fear of being alone. So often, we mold ourselves to fit in with others because we're afraid of being alone or abandoned. But the truth is, when you live authentically, you begin to attract people who truly resonate with your vibe. They may not be the masses, but they will be the right people. People who appreciate you for who you truly are. And those connections will be more meaningful than any amount of surface-level approval. Think about it this way. When you stop chasing approval, you start attracting the right people, the right opportunities, and the right experiences into your life. You'll find that people who are on the same wavelength will begin to gravitate towards you naturally. They'll respect you for your authenticity and align with you on a deeper level. And even if they don't agree with everything you do, they'll still respect your right to live your truth. Authenticity attracts respect. Real respect, not the kind based on conformity or what's expected. Living authentically also opens the door to spiritual growth. When you align with your true self, you open yourself up to deeper wisdom and higher knowledge. The more you embrace who you really are, the more you can tap into the divine energy within you. You stop seeking answers outside of yourself and start realizing that the answers were always inside you, waiting for you to discover them. Rastafarians understand this intimately. They don't look to outside sources for their value or their connection to Jah. They know that they are divine beings, inherently valuable, and that their spiritual connection doesn't need to be validated by anyone else. The freedom that comes with living authentically isn't just about personal peace, it's about personal empowerment. When you stop chasing other people's approval, you reclaim your power. You no longer give away your energy to the opinions of others. You become the master of your own life, your own journey, and your own happiness. And in that power, you find your true strength. You are not here to seek approval from others. You are not here to bend, break, or change for anyone's comfort. You are here to live authentically, to stand in your truth, and to embrace the divine energy that flows within you. When you stop seeking approval from the world, you begin to attract what is truly meant for you: real connections, real growth, and real peace. So take a moment to reflect on your own journey. Are you living for yourself? Are you embracing your true self? Or are you still chasing external validation? The path to authenticity begins with a simple truth. You are enough, right now, just as you are. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, you don't have to live up to anyone else's standards. Live your truth, and everything else will fall into place.